That's how Satan operates. Satan inhabits people. He fills them with his spirit. And this is Satan. And what he was saying to you is the truth. So I prove it to you now. I prove to you. Muhammad called them a razorhead.
You want to talk to kids? You want to talk to kids? Is that what you want? Why are you here? Why are you here?
Why is Bilal? There is a punishment. Why is Bilal?
Don't speak to our sister.
Why would you want to leave the truth? I hope God reveals himself to you in the
What's the punishment?
That's right. You're desperate.
In the Bible,
I pray that Jesus will come to you in the truth. And he'll reveal himself like he does to Muslims all over.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie.
That's the only way you will find him. You'll find Jesus. Try and read this book, The Deception of Allah, by Christian Prince. I encourage Muslims to read this. None of them have written a book opposing this. Siraj won't write a book. You know why? He can't. Dr. Zaka and I can't refute this book. They haven't written a book. Where's your book? Where's your book? No, write a book. Write a book. Oh, you're a genius. So what happened?
He's showing his silly princess.
A man that's inhabited by Satan came to take you away from hearing about Jesus.
Jesus is possessed by demons.
What a tragedy. I was
According to the Bible, Jesus was possessed by demons. Shall I give you a verse? Shall I give you a verse? According to the answer is Exodus chapter 22 verse 20. It says anyone who worships other than the God of Israel should be put to death. If that verse is valid until now, then all Christians should be put to death. That's all I'm saying.
How much
Talk to
longer
me.
until
I'm
he
here.
runs away? 8
I'm
minutes,
using
10
the Bible.
minutes?
I'm not running.
8 minutes, 10 minutes?
According to the Bible, Jesus was deceived by God of the Bible.
He's going to run.
You ran away from your first
Why did Allah deceive Muhammad at the Battle of Badr?
Show me where. Wait. Show me where Allah said I deceived Prophet Muhammad. Okay,
Allah
challenge.
said to Muhammad,
Challenge.
I showed them to you as few
I
in number,
challenge.
but there were many
I
in
challenge
number,
you.
so you didn't lose courage.
I challenge you.
Why does the Bible say,
I challenge you. I challenge you. Who won the Battle of Badr? Who won the Battle of Badr? I challenge
Jesus
him.
is the way, the truth, and the
Jesus
life.
is the way and the truth by saying drink poison.
Listen. The Bible tells me,
No, he
God
doesn't
says
want
to
to
me,
listen.
do not
Okay,
answer
I will
them
talk as
in his
well.
folly.
So he doesn't want to
You
listen.
answer the fool in his folly,
Do you
you
want
can
time?
become like him.
Do you want timing?
So,
Do you want
answer
timing?
the fool
Do
if
you
he
want
becomes
timing?
wise in his
I think
own
it's not
eyes.
normal then.
Now,
If you see someone talks by himself,
he's wise in his own eyes.
Do
And
you
the reason
want
he's wise
timing?
in his
Ask
own
him.
eyes
Do
is
you
he
want
won't
timing?
listen. You're going like this to me.
You
talk with yourself.
according to the Bible, if you worship any other God
Speaker's corner.
other than the God of Israel, you should be put to death. Exodus chapter 22 verse 20. According to the Bible, Jesus is deceived by God of the Bible. You know what God of the Bible is saying? If a prophet is given a false message, I, the Lord, deceived that message. Prophet.
I will give you the waters of life.
According to the
Muhammad
according to
stole that
Ezekiel,
Allah Akbar! Come to me, I will give you the waters of life. But he didn't. He didn't give him the waters of life.
according to
Jesus is
Ezekiel,
Lord.
God of the Bible
Every
said,
knee will bow. Every tongue confess. Jesus is Lord. No other name but the name of Jesus.
So Jesus
Muhammad.
was given false messages. Muhammad, John,
He's already lost.
verse 32. And again, Mark chapter 15,
Why
verse
did Allah
34.
deceive Muhammad?
So Jesus
Why did Allah
was given
deceive
false
Muhammad?
messages.
Siraj, time to run.
Always
You can't answer the question.
supported
You should be
Prophet
ashamed,
Muhammad.
Muslims. Islam should be ashamed that you can't answer one
Jesus
question.
of the Bible. That's
Your
why Jesus
Muhammad,
was
your
cast
prophet was
and he
deceived
became ungodly one.
Allah.
According
Showing
to
him in a
Psalm
dream
chapter
that there were many, a few.
37
Showing you in a dream that there were
verse
few. But they
And
weren't few, there
according
were
to
many.
Mark
So the only
chapter
thing you could do
6,
now
chapter
is scream
15,
Allah Akbar and talk over us and interrupt every conversation.
God
But
of the
what's
Bible
happened
said,
today
I will
is
not
God has shown you
forsake the
that
godly
He is
ones.
Lord.
But
His
Jesus
word is
said,
final
my
authority.
God, my
You know
God,
what happens
why
with the
have you
Quran?
forsaken me?
It's a curse.
So the God
It's a
of
curse to the
Jesus
people that wrote it.
cast
All the
and
plagues that
deceived
were given to the
Jesus.
Jews when
So
they
God
were
of
in
the
Egypt,
Bible is a
to the
deceiver.
Egyptians.
He deceived
All those
his
plagues
prophets
are going to come on the people
and
that
his
added to
people.
God's word.
According to
This is it.
Jeremiah
Alpha, Omega, beginning and end.
Jeremiah
Jesus is
chapter
Lord.
10,
Here we go.
verse 40.
Nearly 10 minutes. You need to
Why
go.
God of the Bible
Run, Bart. Nearly 10
deceives
minutes.
his
You're running out of
prophets,
time.
including
Let me tell you what he
prophet
said.
Jesus,
Jesus actually
and
said,
Israelites,
I
his
am.
own people.
When he said,
But
I
God,
am,
Allah
he's proving that
always
he's God.
supports
He's making
his
a claim
people.
that he is
Why
God.
is that?
No, Muhammad couldn't make that
was
claim,
never
so all
God.
Muhammad
Do you
could
know
do is
why?
plagiarize.
Jesus said, Father,
How does
God
it feel?
lied.
How
He
does it
said,
feel
the
that
Father
your prophet was
glorified
deceived
me
by Allah?
before the world
How
was
does it
created.
feel?
That's a lie. Do you know why? Because the Bible says Jesus was made lower than the angels. If Jesus was made lower than the angels, that means Jesus cannot be God. Jesus was never glorified by God. And God of the Bible said, I will not share my glory with anyone. But
Muhammad said, if I'm
Jesus
a false
said,
prophet,
God gave me all authority. Jesus was never given any authority. Do you know why? Because Jesus himself, according to Matthew chapter 20, verse 21 to 23, Jesus
poisoned by a Jewish lady,
indicated that he was
poisoned
never
by a
given
Jewish
any
lady,
authority.
poisoned
Because
by
when
a
the lady
slave.
came to him and said, I want these two of my sons to sit at your right side and your left side. And Jesus said, this is not me to do that, but it's the will of God the Father to do that. So according to the Bible, Jesus is never given any authority. And I said before, and I'm repeating, Jesus never had.
He repeated the question of he deceived, Allah deceived.
He's lying. Prophet Muhammad was never deceived by Prophet Allah, because Allah guaranteed and promised Prophet to win against his enemies. Before he passed away, his enemies came to an end. That's why in chapter 110, Surah An-Nasr, chapter 1 to 3, Allah told us, He promised Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to get the victory against his enemies and the conquest of Makkah. And Allah also said, promised people will enter Islam in crowd. That's why before Prophet Muhammad passed away, let's go.
The biggest deceiver is Allah.
Let's go there.
The biggest deceiver is Allah.
He can't answer.
Answer the one what they said that Allah he deceived the Prophet.
And the Christian here, the fellow Christians here are asking, why did Allah deceive Prophet Muhammad? And my challenge is to show us where Allah deceived Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There is no single verse in the Quran. Allah promised to support Prophet Muhammad.
They are liars.
And he also said Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam will get the victory, will get the, according to Quran, Allah told his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and said, when you see the help and the victory and the conquest of Makkah comes, Allah was telling him, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he's going to get the victory against his enemy, and the help Allah is going to help him support his prophet. And also the conquest of Makkah. Before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away, he controlled all Arabs. He won against his enemies, and he took over Makkah before he passed away. So where did Allah deceive Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? There's no single verse in the Quran, and I'm challenging any Christian to show me where Allah deceived Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But it's the other way around. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the other way around. In the Bible, God of the Bible deceived his prophets and also deceived his people, Israelites. According to Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 40, God of the Bible promised to look after Israelites, and he promised them to look after them. But what happened next? He deceived them. And also he never promised to look and support after his prophets. That's why Jesus was deceived and betrayed by Judas Iscariot, according to the false crucifixion. So if Jesus himself was deceived and he was given false messages, God of the Bible said, according to Ezekiel chapter 14 verse 9, if a prophet is given a false message, I the Lord deceived that message. If I the Lord deceived that prophet. So if God of the Bible said this, and Jesus said to his disciples, according to the Gospel of John, chapter 16, verse 32, Jesus said to his disciples, there will be a time all of you will depart away from me, but the Father will not forsake me, but he shall be with me. And when the crucifixion was occurring, Jesus cried loud and begging his God, saying, my God, according to Mark chapter 15 verse 34, he said, my God, my God, my God, why have you forsaken me? But before in the Gospel of John chapter 16 verse 32, he just said, God will be with me, he will not forsake me. But according to Mark chapter 15 verse 34, Jesus is begging God and saying, my God, why have you forsaken me? So that means he was given a false message. And God said, what? If a prophet is given a false message, I the Lord deceived that prophet. So Jesus is a false prophet. He was deceived by God of the Bible. And according to Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 22, God of the Bible said, if a prophet speaks or predicts the future, and his prediction does not come true, God of the Bible said, that prophet spoke without my authority, and you should not fear of him. So Jesus here, he's spoken without God's authority, and he was never given God's authority. But Jesus claimed all authority was given to me by God. So who gave him? If God of the Bible said, if a prophet predicts the future and his prediction does not come true, that prophet spoke without my authority, and he should be taken away from among the community of Israelites. So Jesus was taken the community of Israelites, and he was not given any authority. Christians always tell us Jesus was given authority, but he has no authority. Who gave him? If God of the Bible says Jesus is a false prophet and he was taken away from the community of Israelites, and he was deceived by God of the Bible, and he was given a false message by God or whatever, according to these verses, Jesus never received anything from God, never had anything from God, because God of the Bible is denying whatever Jesus said according to the verse I just quoted. So Jesus, he was possessed by demon. That's why 40 days Jesus was possessed by demon, and also he was working with demons. According to Mark chapter 5 verse 12-13, Jesus obeyed demons. Because of that, he killed about 2,000 pigs. So Jesus never had authority even before the world was created. But he lied, according to John chapter 17 verse 5, where Jesus said, Father, glorify me with the glory I had with you before the world was created. If before the world was created, Jesus was glorified by God and he had glory with God, then how come Jesus was made lower than the angels? Where is the glory? There's no glory there. According to Psalm chapter 8 verse 5, Also, Paul quoted from Psalm chapter 8 verse 5, according to 1 Corinthians chapter, and according to Hebrews chapter 2 verse 9. So Jesus was made lower than the angels. So Jesus, that means he had no glory with God before the world was created. According to Isaiah chapter 42 verse 8, God said, I will not share my glory with anyone. So how can Jesus have glory with God? How can Jesus have any authority when Jesus himself needed someone to take him to the heaven? According to Luke, the Gospel of Luke chapter 24 verse 51, and according to Acts chapter 1 verse 3, Jesus was taken to heaven after he claimed all authority was given to him by God, as he said in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 28 verse 18. So Jesus, he was never given any authority, even in the judgment day, even in heaven. Jesus has no authority. According to Matthew chapter 20 verse 21 to 23. Also Jesus, he has no authority. Never. It's impossible, because according to God of the Bible, according to Old Testament, Exodus chapter 15 verse, God of the Bible chapter 15 verse 18, God of the Bible said, it says God will reign forever and ever. That means God will reign God will reign forever and ever. Jesus, how can Jesus have authority? My challenge, I'm still waiting any Christian to tell me where Prophet Muhammad was deceived by God, by Allah. Allah promised to look after Prophet Muhammad until he conveys the message, and he conveyed the message of Allah, and he got the victory against his enemies. But according to Bible, Jesus never got the victory against his enemies. Even when he comes back, Christians believe he will come and bring peace. But Jesus is not going to bring peace. Even in judgment day, he will ignore Christians. According to Matthew chapter 7 verse 21 to 23. So Jesus never won against his enemies. He never got victory against his enemies. He never got support from his God. That's why he was deceived. He was given false messages. He said poison is medicine, according to Mark chapter 16 verse 17 to 18. No one can prove to me that Jesus is a prophet or Jesus is the beloved one of God. He's the false son of God. He was deceived. He was cast by God, same as Satan, according to Deuteronomy chapter 21 verse 23, according to Galatians chapter 3 verse 13, and Proverbs chapter 3 verse 33 says, all the the curse of the God is upon the wicked, house. And God of the Bible said, he will forsake the wicked children. That's why Jesus was forsaken, according to Mark chapter 15 verse 34, and in Psalm chapter 37 verse 20 and 28. أقول هذا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.